Okay, so back to our example. I just want to talk a little bit about value parameters here. When you're working with class objects, these objects can get large. In this example, item has 4 data members and a bunch of functions packaged with it. So when you use a value parameter, it takes the original argument, which is part in this program, and it makes a copy of that, an item. So making a copy of it requires space, right, memory. It requires time. And as your objects get larger, that can be a problem. So we can make it a little bit faster by making it a reference parameter, because reference parameters share the memory location. So it doesn't make a copy. And so that makes it more efficient, but it still causes another problem. And if I'm a programmer and I see that this is a reference parameter, that tells me if I call the show values function that somebody might change item inside of this function. That's what reference means. So if we're calling a function that's not going to change the data members, and this show value function is not, we can make this a constant reference parameter. And remember, you have to do it in both spots, the heading and the prototype. And what a constant reference parameter does is it's kind of like a value parameter in that it doesn't allow the original argument to be changed, but it also saves on space and time. This can get a little bit tricky with classes because I showed you what a constant function is. Okay, and so I put this reserved word const here, but if you're in a driver program, if it's not a constant function, let me just change this. You'll notice that I get an error message here. And the reason I get an error message is if this is a constant reference parameter, inside of the function you can only call constant functions. So using constant reference parameters is a good idea with classes, but it can get a little bit tricky. I'm going to change that back to constant. Okay, and just going to run my program again to show you that it does run. Okay. And so we'll likely do some more work with the concept of constant reference parameters, but they are helpful when working with classes.